up? Big Herc 916. Positivity, motivation, never settle for average. You know how we do it over here, man. Go to bigherc916.com, pick you up some merch, never settle for average, or go wash your ass, because there's nothing worse than a smelly butt. And man, I wasn't going to really speak on this, but I'm going to speak on it, man, because it doesn't really matter. They already have me labeled as non-woke, far right. So I'm going to say what I'm going to say. And it's the Trump indictment and what it's really about. These people, both on the left and the right, are afraid what Trump can get done in the next 4 years if he's elected. There's a lot of things that have yet to be exposed that will come to light when properly presented. There are a lot of things that were in the works, but wasn't able to be completed because of the impeachments and the underminings of the people when he was in office who didn't really have his back. See, it's not just the Democrats who were running scared. There are also a lot of Republicans. And one of the biggest things that nobody talks about, everybody talks about gun control and, censorship. They want to take away our weapons. They want people to be basically helpless like Australia and New Zealand so they can kick your door in and tell you to shut your mouth and get on the ground. But what about the child trafficking? What about all the kids that go missing every year? 500,000 kids across the United States, or close to 500,000, and nobody talks about. These kids who are just names on posters that nobody discusses. Nobody talks about that. Everybody wants to talk about, this going on, this distraction, that distraction. But what about the children? There was a Human Trafficking Act passed by Trump when he was in office, and there was a lot of child trafficking situations that were exposed, but they got little to no media attention because there are a lot of people involved in child trafficking. A lot of Hollywood. There are a lot of politicians, people involved in religious organizations, nonprofits, a lot of international child trafficking going on. So there are a lot of things at stake here. And also a lot of people have invested interest in our country falling. The fall of the United States. If it falls, they win. They've already sold out to China or whatever other foreign interests. So they don't really care. That's why they say, I don't need a gun. I don't need a gun. Why? I mean, nothing's going to happen to me. Because they're in on it. Only a sucker, man, would think that you could talk a person down when they are threatening to hurt your family. Only a sucker would think like that, man. I mean, you think, like, I don't understand protection. What do you think that when you can't protect yourself, one of the most vital things that keeps people in check is knowing that there's a threat of violence if you harm somebody, that there's a consequence. Criminals don't care. I've been a criminal. I've been around them. You don't have they think twice if they see an armed guard somewhere, or if they see that somebody has the license to carry and they got a gun on their hip. They think twice about hitting a hard target. So all this plays a factor, man. But there's been a big run on trying to grab the guns. They have the big divide coming. It's a racial divide. And then, you have the whole gender thing that they're dividing everybody. And now they're going to go ahead and set up another distraction with indicting Trump. They indict Trump, but they release the shaman because January 6th was some bullshit. January 6th, man, you've seen the videos, and it gets me a laugh when people, oh my God, that didn't seem like it was nonviolent, bro. Come on, you want to talk about violence? Why ain't they arresting? Why ain't Antifa got swept up for domestic terrorism? How is Antifa attacking the Atlanta police, throwing fireworks, shooting, throwing rocks, and they're just sitting there? Just Antifa. If you compare Antifa and what they did in Portland, what they did in Minnesota, what they did in Atlanta to what happened on January 6th, come on, man. They try to compare that to Pearl Harbor. Get the hell out of here, man. And you know, as a black ex-felon, a black male, they definitely don't want to hear this coming from me because it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. But I'm going to tell you, it does add up because they want to see America fall. And it's already starting to fall. Banks are collapsing. You got the Saudis, China and Russia, Brazil talking about hooking up, getting rid of the petrodollar. Nixon already took off the gold and silver standard is done. So the only thing that was holding the dollar up was the oil. And that relationship was going strong, but they're looking at right now who's in office. And it's a joke. It's like, they're not going to take that guy serious, and they don't take America serious right now because of all the clown stuff going on with our government. And so when you look at that, they want a collapse, and then they can come in with a new set of rules. They want to get rid of the Bill of Rights. They don't want you to have any freedom of speech. They don't want you to have the right to bear arms. They don't want you to be secure in persons. They don't want you to be able to not incriminate yourself. There's a due process. Look at the Tates. Tates have been locked up in Romania now going on 4.5 months, no due process, no charges. And then they're talking about Trump with hush money, but you got a laptop with a guy with crack on the scale and all type of other dealings with China and all type of other incriminating stuff, and there's nothing going on. Whether you're far left, far right, in the middle, if you just look at this, it's corruption at its highest, man. You talk about, and I've been in the system multiple times. I've seen people get out, and I've seen what happens when you have the right connections. And when you say Trump's part of the elitists, obviously not. They're trying to get rid of him because he has something that they don't want exposed. He's just like every other American right now, unjust. Whether you like him or not, you don't like his personality, but the fact is, a person like that dealing with these international aristocrats who don't care about the little people, dude, he was caring more about than what I can say right now. I ain't never seen nobody go to a mass shooting and people are mourning for their kids, and you're talking about ice cream. Whether you want to play victim or not, and you talk about, America, this and that, I don't see any of you guys hopping on planes to go to another country to go live. If you don't like it, leave. If it's such a bad place and there's no opportunities and everything's so stacked, try going to India, try going to Romania, try going to China, try going to some of these places and start from the bottom and see if you can make it to the top. Go to Cameroon, go to Ghana, go to some of these places and start fresh. You don't like it, or if it's so bad, if it's such a biased place, and like I said, I'm a 3-time felon and I'm still out here and I'm not throwing in a towel and I'm not saying I can't make it. So if you can't make it and you don't have no felonies, what's your excuse? Especially if you're not brown or black. What's your excuse? What are you crying about? See, they done got people over here so riled up in these college systems and universities about this Marxist mentality that they got people who come to speak and asking them, are you do you identify with black? It's like you turned a social economic into a racial situation, and now you're using that as the hedge, the wedge in the divide. But it's not about black, white, black or brown. It's about economics. And when it comes to economics, if you're not in their circle, you're out. Even if you have money. Tate's got money, but they don't like what he was saying. Tristan or Andrew, they don't like what Trump is saying. Yeah, he got a lot of money. I mean, shit, hustled, you know, whatever moves they put down. But if you're not playing ball, you got to go. So this is about the divide. They want to send us into another war. See, they want, when they can say that this is a quasi martial law situation and they can confiscate shit and basically tell you what days you could travel, what days you can't, when you can go to work, when you can't, what you can eat and what you can't. That's ultimate control. See, the money, they already have all the money. It's about power now. It's like telling you to put that over your face. It's about power, man. This shit ain't about money no more. You guys have already been crushed and beat down. It's like in the pen when they lock you down and they come in your cell and they take all your commissary and they strip you down and you just sit there and you're defeated. It's about power. They already have everything else. They have your phone. You can't call nobody for help. See, a lot of you guys have never experienced that. I've experienced it where they strip you all the way down. They go in there, you know, you don't have much in prison. Just like out here on the street, you're working, you got credit card bills, you got mortgage, you got kids, public school system, you're under attack, your kids are being brainwashed. You're constantly being hit. But imagine being in prison and all you have is your little locker full of commissary. Man, they went in there one night, man, and kicked all that shit. They were singing Kung Fu Fight 10, and the guards and them were kicking people's commissary, breaking stuff. They just tore up everybody's stuff, and they did this like at 3 a.m. Literally, they had us come out like in El Salvador in our boxers with nothing else but naked, with just your boxers, balls hanging out, you know, exposed, no shirt, and they made us sit with our heads down. They had on black ninja outfits with guns in the unit, in the prison unit, and they went in there and destroyed our whole little our little living areas, and we went back in there after we sat out there for about an hour. You just sat there, man, and looked at this. Is like, it was the lowest I've ever felt in life. The most dehuman I ever felt, man. I've never felt that crushed, powerless. I never felt that powerless. Handcuffed, you know, with another man just sitting there butt naked and just everything. You have nothing, man. You can't call, and there's no phone use. The phones, you can't use them. You can't call for help. There's no calling the news station talking about this type of, you know, act going down in prison, because you're in prison. You're a criminal. They don't care. And then the next morning, they made everybody get up and go to the chow hall. And then they lined us up and they had people with guns pointing at us while we went to the chow hall. And they had their faces covered up so you couldn't see them. Now, this is what I'm telling you, because this could happen on the street. They've done it in prison and they test it. See, prison is a micro of the macro. And they test these type of actions in places like that to see what type of response. So they did that, right? And then a day or two later, they had everybody come up, and then the warden, he was outside of the chow hall when people were coming out asking how you doing and wanting to shake your hand. I looked at him, man. I wanted to spit on his hand. I really wanted to do something else, but he had the guards there and I didn't want to get beat up. But this is the type of shit they do. This is how they do it out here. They dehumanize you, beat you down to where you feel like you have no power. And then they got you mad at each other. We're mad at each other. In prison, we're all inmates. Black, white, Mexican, it don't matter. We were all treated the same. So the divide, you guys got to get that out your mind. See, they want us to go at it. They want the right now to create a situation so they can justify it, because January 6th didn't work. Then they're going to blame it on Trump. And then they're going to say, oh, and then they're going to implement this new martial law and have everybody on lockdown and then have curfews and travel restrictions, 15-minute city type shit. Do you guys not see the big picture? Wake the hell up. Quit sleeping, man. Trump is not the enemy. The enemy is the people who don't want us to have America. People who don't want us to have God, who don't want us to have country. They want this country to be their country. They want to be part of the UN. They want us to be just UN. And then they can do what the hell they want. No borders. Do what they want. You pay all your medical. You pay all your insurance. And then just come here and is drain you. Tax you to death and drain you. See, it would be cool if I had a channel and I just talked about hip hop and gossip and black stuff and, you know, just all the racial and inequalities. It would be simple, man. I could just do my YouTube channel and it would be all right, man. But something inside of me, man, I don't know what it is. I'm not like everybody else, man. I just can't. I don't care about gossip on, oh, man, when you was in this hood. I mean, let's look at that stuff, man. And it's so minuscule in the big scope of what's going on in the world. And, you know, I think about things in the years to come and the big plan. And when I used to sit in prison, just look around and see how, you know, if I talk to this white guy, hey, man, what are you talking to that white guy for? Or if I go kick it with this Mexican, oh, man, what you doing hanging with the Mexicans? I'm like, dude, this is crazy, man. They got everybody looking at the wrong thing. None of these dudes, it's the dudes who controlling the prison who's really the ones with the power. It ain't the white guys. It ain't the Mexicans. It's the dudes. It's the administration. It's not even the guards. It's the people who tell them what to do. This thing is big, man. And they want us at war. They want a reaction. They always do stuff to cause a reaction. You gotta think far ahead. And I used to always be sitting around like, man, let me do my little mental thing, man, and try to figure this shit out. Cause I gotta do this shit for 120 months. What did I do? I got programmed. I came in here over some bullshit. I did some bank robbery stuff, but that's not really why I'm in here. I'm in here to learn a lesson. You guys, you know, when you watch this video, think about a lesson to be learned. When you see some of the stuff going on, don't take it at face value and react. Really reflect to see what the bigger picture is so you can make a calculated move. There's calculated moves to be made right now, but a lot of you guys ain't moving like that. And I'm going to catch a lot of slack from black people. Oh, man, Trump. Look, man, I tell you right now, I read all his books, Art of the Deal, Art of the Comeback. I ain't never seen nothing racist. They turned it into racist because they wanted to divide because they didn't want strong leadership. Weak leadership is what we have right now. Weak. That's why Saudi and everybody else is laughing. That's why China and Brazil are going to start trading oil in their own currency because they're laughing. Weak. Weakness is not a good trait. And it's going to lead to the demise, which America's not going to be a superpower. And if you think it's cool, you don't care. You want to have somebody kicking in your doors. You want to be punked and bullied, and you want to be just considered that you're not going to fight for nothing. Then, I mean, dude, go lay down right now, man. Go lay down. If you're not the type of person who would step up to the plate to defend this country, then go lay down, man. If it's so bad and you don't like your little checks you're getting from your job, go lay down then. I'm not with the laying down. I'm not no military person, nothing like that, but I grew up around military people, man, and I have a certain fire in my heart about just what I feel of beliefs in human beings and patriotism to this country. If you don't care, then that's on you. But I believe and I stand for a good community, protecting the kids, a great economy, people thriving, nice neighborhoods to live in, values, morals. I stand for things, man, and I'm not going to sit here and try to holler over somebody else. And I believe in people having rights, living your life how you want to live it, leave the kids alone, protect our country, strong economy, good values. And it doesn't, I don't care if you're black, Mexican, white, Indian, Chinese. If you're in America and you come here and you're about this business over here, hey, protect it, man. Protect it. That's all I got to say. And I'm telling you, man, it's like, I sometimes, man, I just walk around. I'm like, this is crazy, man. I feel like I'm living in an altered universe, man, because what's going on right now doesn't make sense. You got crimes, all type of crimes that have happened over this pandemic, man, and ain't nobody went to prison. But you talking about hush money? Come on, man. All the stuff that's been going on in our government over the years. And I'm just glad that I can at least say this right now openly on this platform, even though I know this is going to be really throttled down by the algorithm. It don't matter because I'm not making, YouTube is not paying me anything anyways. You know, I'm doing this because I have that fire in me, and I'm not one of those passive dudes. I've always been a person of voice, and I can't tuck my tail. Tuck my tail. Oh, I'm a black man, I'm a victim. No, I got to speak up, man, because I see it. And you know, I tell you right now, my grandpa used to always tell me, and he grew up in the South, man, and he said he left there for a reason, but he said, man, you know, ain't no excuses, man. Ain't no excuses. Go out there and get it. It don't matter. He said, he never said, I'm a black man and I got it. He just went out there and got it. Bought real estate, hustled, worked, you know, 8-10 hours a day, never made no excuses, provided for the family, was never borrowing anything from anybody. And, you know, me and him didn't have the best relationship as far as communicating, but I learned a lot from him, man. Grandpa was an OG, man. And he grew up in times where there was respect, and I respected him and I respect my elders, man. You need to start respecting yours and really look at the big picture, because this indictment is about destroying America, and it's about taking us into a situation so they can implement something else. This is a trigger. This is a trigger, man. And I see it. I don't know if you see it, but I tell you right now, if you don't see it, if you're just in your feelings because you don't like the man, you better look at some of these other people who are out here doing this dirt, man, who ain't going to jail. Big Herc 916. Go to the Herc store at bigherc916.com and pick you up a bar of soap so you can wash that ass, or pick you up some Never Settle for Average merch, or some of the Muscleup Car Lifestyle merch. We have hats, Never Settle for Average. Got the Muscleup t-shirts. We also have the Never Settle for Average tank tops. Got the Muscleup Car Lifestyle hoodies. Got the beanie caps. Hey, man. Represent. And I know you guys aren't average, so pick you up some swag and step your game up. Hello, I'm Big Herc 916. Contact me for life coaching and motivational speaking.